I got back to the corner in between the rounds and I asked my coach, did I go down in that round?
Yeah. Really? Yeah. Really?
You have just beaten Kenny.
Yeah.
In your fight.
Yeah.
We did film a podcast last week, but we specifically didn't talk about your fight because we knew you were coming on.
Okay,
so,
cool.
Firstly, how was it?
It was good, man. It was a lot of fun. I'm like appreciative to Kenny for giving me the chance to actually like get in the ring with him. And the whole lead up to it was just really funny for me because everybody told me I was getting knocked out in round 2.
Yeah.
That was like the general consensus.
Yeah.
And I was like, obviously deep down, I'm like, I don't understand why everybody thinks this is going to happen, but okay. And then even on the night as well, like I remember being backstage and again, I was aware I was going to get booed because Kenny is who Kenny is.
Yeah.
But I wasn't prepared for how loud it was going to be because the moment I stepped up onto the walk, it was just 4,000.
Really?
I was like, oh my word, like this is a lot.
It's different you see it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like a villain. But it was good. It was funny. There was even like some people as I'm walking down and they'll put their hands out to high five you.
Yeah.
And then some of them would like take their hands away and like flip me off. And I'm like...
It's like being bullied as a kid, man. It's like school, playground again.
Literally. And I'm angry at myself for falling for it. I'm like...
Do you think the boos help you like at all? Because I know some people
thrive off being the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I thrive off being the villain, but it just made it a more fun experience. It's just something else that happened that ordinarily I'm not used to and I've never experienced before. So I was like, this is just actually really cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You never portray yourself as a villain anyway. Like in the press conferences and everything, you're not the one being like, I'm going to just like, I straight away think, KSI Nightmare kind of. I'm going to destroy you in the ring. Like you're confident, but you don't turn into like the, I can do what I want. I'm the best. I'm the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I probably need to add a little bit more of that.
Yeah, now you can, you can start adding that now.
Yeah, I've got to find something else because even like everything with me and Kenya have been like quite respectful.
Yeah. So
even at like the weigh-in, when he said he was going to knock me out in 10 seconds, I was like, why are you being so out of character? Like, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will borrow some of like KSI's mannerisms going forwards. But
no, I'm saying don't, bro. Don't.
You can take a little bit, but don't go full KSI. Don't go full Nightmare.
Yeah, it's too much, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing was it was just so much fun. Even before the first bell went, from like the whole week, including the ring walk, the whole thing was just so much fun.
Yeah, that's sick, man.
Well, obviously you had the fight against Anthony Taylor.
Yeah.
And like within the first 2 seconds. But the maddest part is obviously, you got up and I remember I'm sat like just the other side of the ring. I remember looking at you and you go, wow. But then you carried on and like it was a fight after that.
It was.
Can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was very much a shit got real.
Yeah.
So the one I always forget though is like you fought Big Tobes. That one kind of went under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
And like, how did that come? Why? Where did that come from?
So my journey into boxing has been, I've always loved sport. So played football, like played non-league football all the way up until Raksu won the X Factor. In fact, no, even after the X Factor, I still went back and played non-league football. And then we got too busy, so I couldn't do it anymore. Always played basketball, just played a lot of sport. And besides like what it does for me physically, mentally, it always played like a really important role in my life as well.
Yeah.
Just keeping me grounded, balanced, and sometimes distracted. And so in lockdown, I found it a little bit difficult at times when there was just no sport to play, and I was just like, what am I meant to do with myself? Obviously we all went through that period, right, where you can't go anywhere, and like the rules are like you can be outside for an hour, and it's like what am I meant to do here? So I think I was itching to find something else that was new. And then I have this, like, there's this little thing inside of me which is super childish and somewhat stupid. So there was me, Miles, my coach Luke, and Jamal were all around Miles's house watching Anthony Joshua fight.
Yeah.
And obviously I must have got excited watching it. And I was like, look, if I start now, do you think I can make the Olympics? Like,
Yeah.
is it possible? And everyone kind of laughed at me. And I was like, no, guys, hear me out. Like, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
So I was like, Luke, will you train me? And let's just see. Because I'd not really tried boxing before. And I was like, who knows? I might have this talent.
Yeah.
But like, it's just out of this world. Turns out I didn't have that talent. But we kind of started. And so a few months after that, I did like a white collar fight in like my local leisure centre where no one knows what they're doing, head guards, big gloves, and you just slap each other for a bit. And then after that, I saw Bouncer starting the Wicked and Bad platform thing. So I was like, look, if you're looking for fighters, I'm game. I want to get involved. And so that's how the Big Tobes thing came about.
Okay. But there was no like bad blood between you two. It was more just like, if you want to fight, I'll fight. Yeah,
100%. There was no bad blood. I think I maybe had like a little chip on my shoulder because I think with Raksu coming from the X Factor, I think there was like a bit of a perception of us within certain circles that maybe I didn't like. So I think my actual message to Bouncer was, if there's any rappers that want to fight, I'll fight any of them, because I just like wanted to fight somebody that everybody thought like would walk through me type thing because of the difference in personas. So yeah, it was nothing against Tobes in particular. I actually really like him. But it was just, I just wanted to fight a rapper in front of that audience on that platform, basically.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Sick.
And then, so we had Anthony Joshua, Big Tobes, and then Kenny. And yeah, now you've beaten Kenny, you're in a pretty good place to kind of fight who you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. You got a bit more bargaining power with man.
For sure. The fight that I want, like, I mean, okay, obviously there's like, the fight that I'm sure we'd all want would be to fight KSI, right? But that's not going to happen, so let's just remove that for now. Unless JJ, you're feeling generous and you want to fight, let's do it. But
he might lose a couple and be down bad, you know. he might have to fight you to, you know.
The fact that he would have to lose a couple and be down bad to consider fighting me, like that kind of set.
That's what Misfits is all about, though, because like if you're not necessarily like in the super like tight knit circle of like YouTube stuff, like your name isn't there, right? So that's why with the Kenny fight, like everyone was saying he was the favorite because of that reason.
Yeah, for sure.
His
call him out for Watford.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I already beat out Kenny.
I was saying like, I used that with FaZe Temper. I was like, look, you fought two people from Watford. You might as well make it a hat trick.
He's probably saying, "Where's Watford?"
So KSI next, and then Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
I mean, it works for sure. Anthony Joshua will flatter me, but hey, yeah, I was actually, I'd love to fight Salt Pappy.
Be sick, yeah.
That's the one. I'm hoping end of the year, if everything was to go right, if I was to have one or two more fights and they went the way that I wanted them to go, then maybe for the end of the year to fight Salt Pappy.
That'd be sick, man.
Yeah, that's like I think I love him as a person. I think he's really fun. So I think the whole build up will be fun. In the ring, obviously he's really good and I think it would be a good challenge, but I think I could beat him. So
yeah, well, that's good, man. You seem like you've got the right mentality that you want to shoot high, you know, and start, you know, proving yourself, which you definitely did against Kenny,
for sure, man. I think look, obviously if you're a professional boxer and you're trying to build like a career over like a 15-year period, I get you have to be careful and you have to plot it. But with where we are at the moment, I'm very much like, I guess in all areas of life, where we should try and live in the present and live in the moment that we're in. Yeah. And there's no guarantees. So I'm like, I could fight somebody who is meant to be an easy fight. And lose. So if that's on the table, you might as well just take the hardest challenge there is. And
I agree with that. Yeah,
go for it.
I think like in boxing, I think that's something that lets the sport down a little bit. Like you have someone who's a big name, you're excited to see, like maybe like even like Vidal, and you got to wait like 15 fights for them to start testing themselves.
Bro, with Usyk, Fury, it's like, are you two gonna fight or not? There's so many examples of it.
Whereas in Misfits, they're putting people together that, you know, could one of them could lose, you know, and will lose
sometimes. This is what I was gonna say. I respect about you and Kenny. Like Kenny, DK Money was a bit of an easy fight, but
he was due an easy one. Like,
his other fights were not easy. Yeah, and then choosing you was not easy.
I mean, he thought it was.
Yeah, I think he did.
I literally put in the chat like, I'm not gonna lie, I fell into the Kenny trap, and I was like, I think Kenny will win, but it's definitely not easy. Because after the Anthony Taylor fight, I was like, you will fight.
You came back.
You will like. And that's, you know, Anthony Taylor's been fighting for Like, a
Well,
long
yeah, fair
time.
play for taking that fight as well with him, because obviously he's
That's what I'm saying. It's like
that's
you
that.
also
No,
don't
that
take-
childish, stupid.
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
That's
that's probably what gives you the drive, though. That's probably what makes you like fight like this, is because you know what your like actual skill level is. So you can shoot higher, but then also you'll match it because you got the drive. Whereas,
I think so.
that's why we can't fight. I'm like, I'm gonna lose, man. I'm gonna lose.
Watching this video, neither can I. But but yeah, I think there definitely are some people that are plotting a path and taking fights that make sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then there are other people that will just get in there and just fight anyone, and that's kind of where I am. There's not anybody, unless you've had professional boxing fights. Anyone within like any musician, any YouTuber, any influencer, there's no one who I wouldn't be like, yeah, do you know what, I'll fight, like whatever favour.
That's what I mean. The fact that you came out and you were like, yeah, you're going to do the rematch with Kenny.
Yeah.
You said about that, and then you were like, then Salt Pappy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you're a brave man. Like, like most people would have gone like, yeah, I'll see who's about, and then probably pick someone that I know for a fact it's an easy fight, whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas you're like, yeah, I'll go for someone who is considered one of the best ones.
Yeah, man. I think we don't know what's going to happen. There's no guarantees. So why not just go for it? But I definitely think from Daly, maybe more so even than Kenny, there was just a complete underestimation and just like I actually think really bad analysis. If I'm being completely honest,
Well, yeah, even you heard the commentators say, right? They were saying that Daly said to Kenny that you've got this, right?
Well,
He was like,
you could hear it in between rounds.
Yeah.
He keeps saying,
Yeah.
like, I think it was after round 2, he was like, you've won both rounds so far.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
keep going, just keep up the same.
and that is really hard to
same
hear
thing.
in 4 rounds, isn't it? Because like, even at round 2, anything can happen in the next 2.
No, definitely. And I actually tweeted like just a couple of days after the fight because like I felt like Kenny was getting battered like in a lot of the comment sections.
Yeah.
And so I said like I think people need to be a little bit lighter on Kenny here because it's not his fault that he was effectively lied to in between rounds.
Yeah.
Like
If he
Kenny
thinks he's winning, why would he?
Do you know what I mean? Like he should have been told in the 4th round,
Go
you are
for it.
behind,
Yeah.
you need to go for
Yeah.
a knockout.
Yeah.
Like, but he was told actually you're winning the fight. So yeah, he was gun shy, but he wasn't told that he needed to be desperate because he'd lost the rounds before. So I kind of like feel a bit sorry for him in that perspective.
Yeah.
And then very early, within about 20 seconds of a fight, I could also tell what their game plan was.
Okay.
And I was like, you've just planned for the wrong person here. Like I think they probably, in the Anthony Taylor fight,
Yeah.
I got back to the corner in between the rounds and I asked my coach, did I go down in that round?
Yeah. Really? Really?
So like my head just wasn't there. Like
Yeah,
I kind
yeah.
of fought that fight on just instinct and just get through it.
Yeah.
So they've obviously looked at it and been like, okay, that's who he is as a fighter. But it was like, no, that was just, I was hurt.
Yeah,
and just
out of it.
Yeah.
didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Can I say something, by the way? In the 2nd round, I think, when Daly's chatting to Kenny, right? This is mental. There's a song playing. I don't know if you noticed this. Did you notice?
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it's an Akon song, and it goes, I hear you creeping. You know that song?
Yeah.
Shadow. And Daly says creeping as Akon says creeping. It's mental.
What?
It links up.
So he's saying to Kenny, like, smart pressure, just creeping. And at the same time, Akon singing it, and they sync like perfectly. Honestly, it is the most bonkers
I was watching.
thing.
I'm like, is he starting to sing this? Right? I'm like,
Yeah, it's mad. Like, what are the odds of that even happening?
I'm glad you noticed that, because I thought I was being weird bringing it up. But I'm glad.
It was like
Freaked me out.
that's a mind blowing moment. That is crazy.
Yeah, but in the 4th round, you seem to get there's just a point in that round where you started swinging huge, and you kind of felt really confident at that point. I'm guessing.
No, my coach told me to.
Oh, okay.
we had like a bit of a code word, and it was like he was basically saying if it's anywhere near tight or just to like leave no doubt whatsoever, basically just empty the tank. And just leave it in there.
Well, you were doing that.
Do you actually have a code word?
Yeah.
Well, don't tell us that.
I can't tell you. Yeah.
Oh, you can change it for next time.
Some fan in the crowd's gonna start shouting. But you were going for this, man. I think, and then he couldn't do anything there, right? Because he can't throw back like that. So he has to just either turn it on himself or just kind of accept it. He just kind of accepts it.
I mean, there are things that you can do. Like me watching it back, like I left myself open for a lot, but I guess you just have to have you got to have the skill set and the balls to execute it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I'm pretty sure Salt Pappy, for example, is watching this fight and he's probably like, yeah, I could do that there. 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 Like it wasn't like.
But hindsight's easy, isn't it? Like,
do you know what I mean? But it wasn't like the cleanest performance from me. Like it definitely, if I was in there with somebody who was maybe a bit more ballsy, like I could have definitely been counted on some of these shots.
Yeah, you were swinging heavy, right?
Yeah.
But,
Hear me out, right? I think Kenny looks like the best boxer in the whole of Misfits.
he does look really good.
Not as in he is the best boxer,
But yeah, he looks the part, sure.
he looks the part, and like the way he's always like he's calm and like
Yeah.
because it was in the first round as well, right? He puts his gloves down, like kind of shows off a little bit,
Yeah.
and then you just punch him. And I was like, but for the second before you punched him, I was like, yo, he looks sick.
Yeah.
Then he got punched, and I was like,
Yeah.
don't do this.
And I could kind of, there are moments in it where I'm kind of doing this and I'm like just standing there with my hands up and I can see him doing lots of feinting. I'm like, are you gonna punch at any point?
Oh yeah, like there was no doubt, like that. I think online people were kind of worried that because one of the results was
like the second
was it a
judge gave it
draw?
to Kenny.
Gave it to Kenny, yeah. As soon as I heard that, I thought, surely not.
Not again.
Yeah.
Not again. Yeah.
Like, but the other one was like, no, I don't think Kenny won that. This one was like, no, Kenny lost.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it could be.
Yeah.
Could go this, could go. It wasn't. It was. Yeah, you won this one.
In a very weird way, that's probably good for him as well because I don't think like he could have taken another like.
If he had, yeah.
It's just but I think we'll see more from him as well. I think maybe this fight, you think it's just him getting the game plan wrong, or is maybe his coach is getting the game plan wrong?
Yeah, 100%. They were basically just like expecting me to walk forward slowly.
I was like, yo, Kenny's sick. Kenny, no, Kenny, don't do that, bro. What are you doing?
I think they were like expecting me to walk forward really slowly in a straight line, and so the game plan was like jab, 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 and then when I walk forwards, sting me with a backhand, and that was it. Like he wasn't looking for anything else, so it just kind of put me in the scenario where I was like, okay, well, if I make sure that he can't hit me with his backhand, he's not even trying to throw anything else, so I'm okay. So yeah, I don't necessarily put that on Kenny because it just feels like it's almost like someone told him, trust me, he's going to walk forwards into your right hand at some stage and you will catch him. Yeah. And there wasn't a plan B, C, D or E. So I think, and it's a weird thing to hope on his behalf, but like if we were to fight again, it would have the potential would be there for it to be a completely different fight.
Yeah.